Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Just making sure that I am definitely live. I know I'm in the right place. Okay, so hi, everyone. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Hazel McBride. And firstly, I just want to thank Lindsay for giving us the opportunity to speak for half an hour. Bonus, usually you get 60 seconds when you're networking, and that's it, that's your lot. But you're getting 30 minutes of my time today. So I will try and tell you a little bit about myself, why I do what I do. And I have quite a few strings to my bow, so I should be able to do the 30 minutes pretty well. But hopefully, I will give you a few top tips, a few things I find useful when growing my business. Okay, so as I say, thank you, Lindsay, very much for letting us on here today. So, who am I? So, I am a Gen X, ex corporate mum of three. And my background was in utilities and telecoms. I was one of those kids at school who never knew what she wanted to do. So I did engineering and business studies at uni, and then I went on to work with in the utilities industry, and I did loads and loads and loads of different roles. Um, Even though I was doing technical training, I ended up doing marketing and pricing and program management. I finished off the last of my corporate and cable and wireless, and I was a IT program manager. So I was putting comms into wind farms. So it was very, very different days for me. However, what I realised part of my business is now is sales. And when I look back at my corporate career and I'm like, how did I end up in sales? How do I enjoy sales so much? But what I eventually realised was at one point I was a pricing analyst. I used to work alongside all the solutions consultants putting tenders together. I was also basically just managing and finding solutions for people. And do you know what? That's all sales is. It's just asking people the right questions to find out what they're struggling with and offer them a solution. Whether that's a solution to, they might already have a solution, but you might be offering them a cheaper solution. So it's really just that's all sales is. People get so scared of it. There's absolutely no reason. All you're doing is finding out what somebody needs and offering to help them in some way. So that's that. So as I said, I'm a mum of three. All my three kids are in high school now. So I stopped working in corporate, trying to remember, 2009, 2010. I stopped working in corporate, so quite a while ago now. For the first few years, I took some time out to the kids. I had three under two, so corporate was not going to fit in with that very well. And then I went on to, I wanted to look after my own health. I started getting interested in well-being and nutrition. And I started a well-being business, which I ran for about 6 years. And then 2019, I wanted to change. I still had this passion for everything well-being, but I wanted to do something different. So I started my business, which I have now, is called Centicity. Now, Centicity is based on the word simplicity. It's very, very simple. And Centicity is also based on sense in the city because having all those years of corporate experience, I had a very big business network spanning lots and different companies, different sectors. All the people that I'd known for all that amount of time moved on to different places, and you just grow your network and grow your network, friends of friends of friends of friends. So I wanted to sense in the city. I wanted to utilize that. Now, mostly Scenticity is basically designer inspired fragrances. That is my flagship range, but I actually have over 1,000 products in my portfolio. And also part of my business, I have a well-being part of my business as well because I brought that back in because I wanted to still work in that side of things. So the designer inspired fragrances, you would think, that's probably more suited to Instagram and Facebook because people don't really like people putting products on LinkedIn. But the thing is, there's still all the people on LinkedIn still use products. It's not like, oh, because you're a business person, you don't use perfume anymore. You absolutely do. So what I started to do is I have sample wallets. My business is crazy simple. I have sample wallets and they have all these different scents in them. And then you just look down a wee list and say, oh, what is it you like? So say if you like Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel, then try our W117. If you like Creed Aventus, try our MO20. And they still come in beautiful bottles. So this is your perfume bottles that they come in, and this is your aftershave bottles. So all I do, or I have been doing, or when I started, what I do is I put these into workplaces. I would put them into call centres, I put them into hospitals, lawyers' offices, any kind of business environment where there's loads of people. And I would give it to somebody who I knew and trusted through my network, and they would then say, "Hey guys, come on, check these out. Let's have a wee look," and then they would put in an order. So that was November 2019, and my business just went like that. It was a run up to Christmas as well, so it was super, super busy. But obviously, then what happened was lockdown, and everybody went home. So that wasn't very good, was it? So not only was everybody home, and people couldn't even see their sisters or their parents or their friends. We weren't even allowed to be in the same building with each other. So I had to pivot my business, and I just got a lot more wallets, and I would obviously fully sanitize them and all that good stuff back then when everything was. But then what I could also do is I would post them as well. And what I did is because to get the same volume of business that I was getting before coming from a big business, then what I actually found out was, well, if I just send more wallets out at the same time, then I can kind of recoup some of that volume. And that's what I did for a good wee while. I started to look. So 2020 actually for me was a pretty good year because everybody was at home. Everybody was bored. Nobody had any money. Weren't going to spend any money. So everybody went online and everyone was just getting themselves. And it's such a feel good factor. And I just made it simple. And I say it was obviously saving people a fortune as well. I mean, something like your Creed Aventus is like £185 and ours is £21.50. Really? Do you want to spend that on a bottle? Don't think so. Um, so as I say, I always say to people again with sales, it says I'm not trying to sell you anything. You've already got perfume. I'm just giving you another option to pay less for it. And the great thing is that the beauty is that you can try before you buy. I started then to dabble in a load of other product ranges. They have, as I said, over 1,000 products. And what I have, cut a long story short, is I've split my business into two pillars. So I've got Simplicity, which is all the sort of perfume and makeup and more sort of personal care type things. And then on the other side, I've got Wellbeing by Simplicity, which is was started off when they brought out CBD. We now have a full CBD range, which is the CBD capsules, which is, if you don't know the benefits of CBD and you want to know them, please just get in touch. But they also do hair care, they do skincare, CBD, loads and loads of different things. So what I'm doing with my well-being side, which I really just started to grow, I'm trying to grow a community. Hey, I'm not trying to, I am growing a community, but positively. I'm growing a well-being community there, and what I'm actually doing is, yes, my business does do products that I can sell and promote on that group, but also what I'm doing is I'm looking into all the different things with respect to health and well-being. I'm looking at intermittent fasting. I'm looking at sleep, hydration, all meditation, mindfulness, mindful eating, nutrition for kids, fitness, loads and loads of different things. And I've got lots of things that I'm going to be coming up. I'm going to get external people coming in because when it comes to health, everybody knows when it comes to health, one size does not fit all. So what I'm also doing is I'm trying things and then I'm saying on my group how I'm getting on. So for example, at the beginning of the year, I was just doing a balanced diet and I was just using some of our products and I was telling how I was getting on with that. I did need to lose weight, so I'm glad to see that I have. But the second half of that period of time, I've been doing keto. And I've been just learning about keto, and I'm just going to share more and more stuff on about that. Also, intermittent fasting as well. So yeah, so that's one of the things. So for me, the reason why the well-being side of things really kind of I wanted to do much more about it again because a lot of 2021 I was basically off with ill health, and it was one of these things where when you come back from it, you come out the other side, you're like, right, I know I always had, I always enjoyed well-being, but I really want to make sure that I help as many people as I can and get everybody educated as much as we can. We're all much better about what we should and shouldn't do. But if I can provide information in a simple way, so I always say it's like self-care made simple. That's what I like to do from that side of my business. So our fragrances, people say, well, what are they? Are they fakes? Are they all these things? Pink elephant in the room. And no, they're absolutely not. So they are made in a factory in Toulouse in Turkey. And what they do, and quite often a lot of the designers are made in the same factory. That's the craziness. They do because it's a recipe, they can't patent it. So you break down the recipe and then you just build it back up and you create your own. And ours are all parfum, which is actually up from eau de parfum. So even if you're buying your Coco Mademoiselle at £80, it's probably eau de parfum, 50 ml, and ours is parfum, which is £21.50. So yeah, so there's huge savings for there. But if you are a fragrance lover, anyone who's a fragrance lover, or you're working in a workplace that you think would enjoy trying them, then please absolutely get in touch. So I'm also building a team as well. So if anyone is looking for, we all know the price of the cost of living has gone through the roof. So I have to put it out there that I also am a coach and mentor to people in my team who want to build a similar business to mine. And yeah, happy it's free to get started. And all I ask people, I just meet them halfway with respect to coaching and developing them. I'll put in the same amount of effort that you do. It's an effort-based business. But as I said, it's super simple. Do you want to try them? Do you like them? Do you want to buy them? Great. That's basically it. So, what else do I do? So another thing that I do, I am on the committee for Scottish Women in Business. It's based in Glasgow. I should have said that's where I am. I'm in Glasgow. And Scottish Women Business was actually formed 30 years ago. This is our 30-year birthday this year. And we are, as a charity, a collection of businesswomen from lots of different sectors, lots of different backgrounds, ages, everything. And originally, Scottish Women in Business, we look way back and what it was like when it was founded, it was very much more just the solicitors, the accountants, the professions, the suits and professions that you would find in the corporate world today. But now it is a very diverse bunch of women. And we have, I'm just trying to think of the more bizarre ones that we've had. We've had singers, we've had designers, we've had tattoo artists. I remember she came along to an event as well. I don't think she was a member, but she definitely came along. So these are the type of people that come along. We've got charities, the charity of the year. We always have one of them as well. Last year it was Glasgow Care Foundation. This year it's Thriving Survivors. But the whole point of Scottish Women in Business, we've got 3 words. I always add on a 4th. If anyone comes to any of my networking, they'll know. It's connect, collaborate, and communicate. And the 4th one I add is celebrate, because us women aren't very good at celebrating things, are we? So I'm always, when I host their monthly networking on the first Tuesday of the month, if you want to come. We're doing a mixture, we're doing hybrid, we're doing a virtual one for a couple of months, and then a face-to-face one, which we're actually doing next week. We'll be in your hotel next Tuesday morning for a face-to-face. It's so exciting. We actually get to see people in real life. It's amazing. So the format of that with the networking is really just to make sure that people are connecting, collaborating, talking, communicating, and of course celebrating each other's wins as well. I've never been in such a supportive environment. We really, when we say to people and say, come be a member of SWIB, and we're basically doing, because we're asking, can we cheerlead for you? Can we use our social media channels to promote you? We've seen loads of amazing collaborations between members, which is I just get a buzz out of it. I'm always buzzing when I come off any of our networking. We also do speaker events. We do social events. We do training events as well, and we will be doing a hybrid, a mixture of face-to-face and virtual moving forward. So what else have we got with SWIB? So The thing is with me that the reason why I was drawn to work with or work on the committee for SWIB is because it gives me an opportunity to just support women in business even more. So what I'm always trying to do is obviously with my business, I'm trying to save people money and keep everything simple. But also for me, I just want to pour belief into other women in business because I personally lost belief in myself for quite a few years. And when I was doing my wellbeing business for 6 years, I started on my personal development journey. And I didn't even know what personal development was back then. But so like 8, 9 years ago, I didn't even know what it was. And then I just started to plug into listening and reading and just hanging out with other people who had an extremely positive mindset, had a good clear out of the people who don't have a positive mindset. And that's when it comes down to things like boundaries. So when I'm at SWIB or any of the SWIB events, I'm always looking for ways to help people maybe think better or think differently, speak differently, especially to themselves, and just give people the courage that they can be more. And the other great thing is we get a lot of solo entrepreneurs. So as I said, we're very diverse in SWIB. We have, so we've got charities, we've got corporates, we've got sole traders, small businesses across all the different sectors. And I would say that when somebody's maybe like me has gone from corporate, there's a lot of women who've gone from corporate into like started their own business. They've maybe done it on the side for a little bit, and then once they've got their business going, they've maybe gone away or they've been made redundant. I was made redundant twice during my corporate career. Fine, they've seen it, done it, got the t-shirt when it came around the second time. Even the first time, it was a bit of a shock. And I then realised, oh, that actually had quite a lot of years service. So I was like, yeah, and I went off to the Caribbean and raised shots for a wee while. It was quite fun. But then a wee thing on my shoulder says you've got a mortgage, get back, get a job. So I actually after the first time I got majors done, I came back and I went back into I did my own thing for a wee while. I helped small businesses build basic websites, taught myself how to book, those sort of things that I like to do. Always like to learn, just always learning, always learning. So I loved that, but I found it back then it was very, very lonely as a solo entrepreneur. Whereas now there's so much out there. There's stuff like networking women. There's obviously SWIB. There's just like an abundance of different things. I'd also reach out to anyone who is maybe new to networking, is a little bit scared of it. Then feel free to get in touch as well. And if you're going to any of the ones that are there, I will whether it's virtually or physically, guide you and hold your hand to introduce you to different people if I know who it is that would be a good contact for you. So, what else? I think I was going to talk about networking itself. I love networking. I just and not have to stop and like let somebody else talk. It's great. Because but it actually is a downfall as well. Somebody did a post the other day on LinkedIn and they were commenting about when it comes to networking, it's not everyone assumes that if you're an extrovert that networking's easy. And it's the introverts that need the help. Not necessarily, because the people who can ask a question and then be quiet and just listen, the people who are the good listeners are the people who will come away with the best amount of information and find the right people and all that sort of thing. So for me personally, I have learned over the years to ask questions, I mean, I still talk a lot. I mean, I'm very open about that. But what I do is I tend to, especially when I host the first Tuesday of the month networking for SWIB. I have learned that it's a case of making sure that everyone gets their say. Find out, because all I say is, like, tell me who you are, what you do, who you're looking for, how can we help, and then just be quiet and wait for people to tell me what it is that they need. So that's been a huge learning curve for me as an extrovert over the last few years. I go to a variety of mixed and female only networking. There's a place for both. That's my opinion. Some people, especially people who are new to networking, will prefer They maybe prefer go to a female only one for till they get the hang of it, till they kind of come in and do it for the first few times. And that's why it was a great place for that as well. I mean, I always compare it to groups like Lindsay's group here. The support that you guys give each other in this group is amazing, and that's why I love it. And as much as I'm not active on the group, I do duck in and out of it quite a lot just to see what's going on. So well done, Lindsay, for building this community. Um, so the other thing that that one thing I was going to say actually, when people come into our networking, it's networking is just an introduction. And my biggest top tip is fortunes in the follow up. If you just make sure that you connect with that person right away after after your networking on LinkedIn or wherever, and get a one-to-one in the diary, because that person, and it doesn't even need to be somebody that's an obvious future collaboration or client. You just want to connect and grow your network as large as you can, so you can get access to their network, and just make sure, yes, you want to know what those people do, but you need to make sure that they know what you do too. So I always say to people, says, tell me something about you, it's nothing to do with your business. That's great for building relationships. Two people might be into golf, or they might be into knitting. I don't know, it's a bit random, knitting, don't know where that came from. Or fitness or something like that. And that's where the relationship can get built. But they still need to make sure. Somebody said to me recently, does everybody know what you do? Does everybody in your network know what you do? Does everybody know that if somebody needs some perfume, that does everybody know that I sell perfume? And that's why I kind of focused on just one part of the business first, because I wanted to be known as the perfume lady. And some of the networking groups that I go on virtual says, "Oh, here comes the perfume lady," and that's cool. I'm quite happy with that, because if somebody's saying there was somebody in an FB Facebook group, and this girl was crying because she dropped and smashed her bottle of black opium, and she says, "Oh, just I can't believe it. I can't afford to get new ones. I thought we're just tagging me." Hazel's got great back. Hazel's probably got that on her list. Go speak to Hazel. And that's what you want. You want people. So don't be afraid about promoting who you are and what you do. Get out there and do it, and don't be bothered that you're spamming people either. Like, if you're just doing posts, it takes 7 or 8 exposures before that on average somebody will buy from you. So always keep that in mind. Obviously, don't post the same thing all the time. Try and spin it up into different types of posts. You might maybe do maybe like a question, or like something that's maybe a bit more motivational, or something that's funny. Funny is always good. I always like to keep a bit of laughter throughout my business, because if you're not, well, I always say to people, if you're not happy, you're not doing it right, or you should be doing something else. That's just me. What else have I got here? Mentioned the Glasgow Care Foundation. I am an official friend of the Glasgow Care Foundation. Just want to give them a wee shout out, because I'm very much into shouting about folk or things or causes that I feel passionate about. I'm very heavily into shop local as well. I'm a founder of a local shop local. I'm in East Drain, so shop local East Drain on Facebook. It's a shopping community, and it's all local businesses. And I'm just trying to think. My jewellery is local. I was out the other day, and literally everything except for the jeans I had on was my shoes, my bag, my earring, everything. If I can shop local and support other people and small business, then I will do it. What else have I got in here? So yeah, so please check out Glasgow Care Foundation as well. They are an amazing charity. And what else? I'm trying to think of other things that are personal development top tips. So last week, I was at an event. I was helping host an event, and it was all about personal development. And this is huge when running a business. When we have people come into SWIB networking for the first time, quite often, as I said, I went off on a tangent. It's not like me. But they've maybe gone from corporate going into more of a solo entrepreneur role for whatever reason. And firstly, we are like, amazing, well done, you're fantastic, well done. Because usually you get different stages when you come out of that. And you, when they come to us, they're either like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited! I've just started my new business," um, and then you get the ones that come in at the next stage going, "Oh my God, what have I done?" But the great thing is, when they, whatever stage they're at, they know and they come away knowing that they're not alone, and you can get that from this group as well. I'm absolutely sure. And then Lindsay will see people coming in at all different levels. Some people doing it as a sideline. Some people will be doing like literally they've just stopped, whatever. But yeah, and I also love supporting other women who, this is actually quite a biggie actually, and I'm surprised I didn't mention it earlier. Women who feel undervalued, people that were maybe in a good job, a good corporate job, they took time out to have their kids and then they wanted back into work. But the way that society works at the minute and the way you're made to feel is that if you go back part time, you're just a hobbyist. Or you have been out the game too many years, so you're not up to date, so you can't compete with other people, or you're expected to do a much lesser job for a lesser wage. And the thing that kind of gets me with that is that there is an abundance of women. I mean, I'm 52, and there's an abundance of women about my age who have got years and years and years of experience and knowledge and transferable skills. I think, okay, you might not be up to date with the latest way to put comms into a wind farm. I wouldn't want to go back to that anyway. But there are women who can use those, that have got so many skills, and people just need to believe in them and pour belief into them that they are actually worthy of success. And I think that's why so many women go down the solo entrepreneur route, because they are not recognized the only way that they can control the fact that they are working and they are making money and they're transferring those skills to something. I always feel it's like, for myself as well, for a long time, I feel I had so much to give, but nobody wanted it, or I didn't know where to give it. And I think that's again why one of the beauties of being part of SWIB and the type of business I've got is I can just go out there and I can just help people. As I said, it's either helping people save money, help people get healthier, um, keeping life simple for people, helping people connect, um, and and I think it's just trying to make sure that I can keep giving to something. So I am always looking to speak to women who have maybe felt like that or still feel like that. And I'm quite happy to cheerlead for them as well and just pour some love and support into them too. So I want to finish on that because I've got 1 minute. I've talked for half an hour. Thank you, Lindsay. Bye.